were looking over before the game. At one point, he held 34 NCAA records, and in his 1988 Heisman Trophy campaign at Oklahoma State, he had 44 touchdowns in how many games?
12 games, and I'm not sure runner than Barry Sanders playing for Oklahoma State.
Anderson now to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing into a double team, and it's intercepted? Picked off by the 13-time Pro Bowler Ray Lewis. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well, swarming to the...
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Well, while we have a second here, how about we get bold and make a couple Super Bowl predictions?
Hey, why not? Let's go ahead and put ourselves on the spot.
Just more fodder for the angry people. What do you think? Who's going to win it and who's going to be the MVP?
Well, my prediction for this one is the New England Patriots win the football game. They win it 32-30. The MVP, the McCourty twins, Jason and Devin. They both get 2 interceptions apiece, and instead of splitting the trophy, they wrestle for it right there in the 50-yard line post-game, because you know sibling rival.
Odell Beckham Jr. He's at the 30, 10, touchdown, Giants. Odell Beckham as the first half is winding down. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing.
And that one carries out of the side of the end zone for a touchback, so that will come out now to the 25-yard line. 14 seconds, all that's left to this first half as they come up on first down. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Oh, design run for their wideout. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Final play of the half, Young. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Tries for Rice, intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So the halftime. Showing the Super Bowl abbreviated, ready to go for the second half. The halftime show, quite a spectacle, but it's back to football for the second half of Super Bowl 53.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Good starting field position for them as they come up first and 10.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
Young off the bootleg. He'll buy some time right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. A gain of 39 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now let's go.
Young with the give to Sanders. He's to the 10. And this results in 6. Touchdown. Barry Sanders, his second touchdown of the Super Bowl. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown.
Watch it now, Barney.
Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
That's fielded in the end zone. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
But that's the Kickstarter right there. Eli Manning finding his guy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, it's a deadly combination, isn't it?
It really is, but what really makes it work is just how unflappable Eli is with his demeanor, able to maintain his calm and his poise, because we know OBJ, he can run pretty hot and get excited out there.
Sometimes just one-handed grabs for him.
It doesn't matter what it is. Just throw it up there. He'll go get it.
You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy. When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the...
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked up by Rod Woodson. Oh, he shifts past him. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Well, partner, after the conference championship games, there was a lot of talk about the overtime rules, understandably so. Do you think that anything needs to be changed in the NFL overtime situation?
I don't think so. And you got to remember, I'm an old crone, all right? So here's the deal on it.
And he can't. Receiver, and he's brought down. Josh Morrow in there to get him for a loss of 5.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
And the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he will score. It's a touchdown. Jerry Rice, 70 yards. And the Madden Legends will extend their lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite, but in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a two-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. Because sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now Manning, and he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Deion Sanders. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
That's caught in. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now a play fake here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. And incomplete on the deep ball. Jerry Rice, the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple.
And put it on the board. It's 6, a touchdown. Jerry Rice, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Anderson now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble, now great field position. Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more. And this will be a touchdown. Randy Moss, a 16-yard touchdown. And this offense is running away with this one.
Well, it's absolutely not surprising to me at all to see them in the end zone yet again.
Well, you and I were looking at the rosters before the game. You got a team that's full of some of the greatest players to ever step on this field. What did we expect?
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. And when they're on top of their game, look out.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
That's it. Blue 80.
Manning again here on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Still fighting for more. And he's going to have this down deep into Oakland territory. Manning to Beckham. A big play there. 69 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. DeMarcus Ware leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Time for a break. We're back to crown a champion after this.
We got three, fellas.
So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. They'll send Beckham alone to the left side. And he's hit and taken down. Eli's sacked. The former Giant, how about this? Lawrence Taylor able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play.
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
That's a whole lot of points still to be down. But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
My old high school coach used to say, Charles, he said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed up.
Gonna save the gas money, the hotel, what have you, huh?
So 5 yards for running into. Lucky it wasn't 15 for roughing.
No doubt about it, because they protect the kickers and the guys holding the ball almost as much as they protect quarterbacks in the pocket. They don't want those types of injuries.
Manning. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Brian Dawkins, the safety, with a pick. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. 30. 10. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick 2, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. Well, that was almost a 4-point swing. The interception, if he had returned it all the way, would have been 2 for them, but just a little bit shy.
And when it's a play like that, you're exactly right with the math. But don't you feel like it would have counted for more if they found their way all the way back to the end zone and gotten the 2? That changes the whole momentum, doesn't it?
The Madden legends heading back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL. Because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now here's Vic. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Josh Morrow in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
How about that, partner? His 2nd sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might just list those out for him.
When they say, white 20. Base 5-2.
Now Vic on fourth down. Sliding out of the pocket. Now he'll let it go deep right side. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. On 1st and 10, here's Manning. Over the middle to Beckham. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining.
Three down. Hey, regular.
One final try now from Manning. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow. This is...
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas. Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Dallas Cowboys.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So that one will be accepted.
Here we go, 46. Here we go, 46.
Prescott on first down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Throwing now is Bortles. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook, and that'll bring up second down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterback's got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Wide open receiver complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
And we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got the turnover? We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
On first and 10, here's Bortles. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this has started.
Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. James O'Shaughnessy, 28 yards. And the Jags have taken the early lead.
Here we go.
Now Doug Marrone not even hesitating. They're going to go for 2.
There you go.
Again, it's Bortles. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And oh, he kicked it out of bounds. That's a big penalty.
And this is where the rest of the team turns and stares at the kicker and says, you have one job. Execute it.
Here we go. 180.
First down, Prescott. He's going to try and go deep again. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Prescott to throw it. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down.
Hey, that's all day, baby. You're shot. Hey, take
Switch and eight.
Prescott now. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what
Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now on fourth down, they throw the deep ball, but it winds up to be incomplete. CD, before this next drive gets going, the Pro Bowl took place January 27th in Orlando. Third year in a row that the AFC has won, and really the third year in a row where the weather in Orlando has not been too kind. It was ice cold 2017, and then downpours the last couple years.
Yeah, in addition to it being cool as well again this year, so rain and cold, that hurts the crowd a little bit, but still, this game has evolved into what I would call a crazier type NFL game. Quick whistles to make sure guys don't get hurt when there's tackling going on. How about receivers playing defensive back? Defensive backs like Jalen Ramsey catching touchdown passes. And to cap it all off, when they awarded the MVP trophy to, I believe, Patrick Mahomes, it broke.
Yeah, indeed, it was Mahomes, the MVP of the offense. Jamal Adams, MVP of the defense in the 26-7 AFC victory. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps them pick up the first. They only get two there, but on third and one, that's all they needed.